Okay, so now I wanted to show sort of the connection here between the two types of hyperboloids, of one sheet and two sheets. So what I've done here is I've set a, b, and c in the two equations equal to 0, and then the 1 on the right-hand side of the equation, I switched it to a minus k. And I actually used minus k because I wanted to show the evolution in the visual here, but I could only get Mathematica to scroll forward in k values instead of backwards. So I set it up so k starts at -1. So effectively, the negative k starts at 1 and then goes to -1 as k goes from -1 to 1. Right? So here's the connection between the two. Because remember, so when this flips sign, the minus k, it's going to go from being a hyperboloid of one sheet to a hyperboloid of two sheets, right? Between when this minus k is positive to when it flips to being negative, right? So watch carefully what happens here. You can see the neck of this thing is starting to tighten. Now, that was a little bit of an illusion right there. You can see the neck is actually still there. It didn't break. The reason you saw the break happen is because it's trying to compute a whole bunch of these guys. And so, having to do a sample size since this part's now so small, it kind of gets left out. I wanted to pause and make sure you notice it's not gone yet, but it is now very tiny. Let's continue to play this. And of course, the neck is gone there. But in actuality, the neck is still there. So now let's get k all the way down to 0. Right? So what do you see when it got there? Right? What you should see now is a cone, because this equation now is just x squared plus y squared equals z squared, which is the cone. Right? A nice cone, it pinches down at one point right there. Right? So I'm going to take k back over here a little bit. But now let's see what happens when we let it go to 0 and then beyond. All right, so it still looks split there, but now it actually is split, because now this is flipped sign, and it's switched over to being a hyperboloid of two sheets. And then as this goes onward, what you see is these guys starting to get a little further apart until we get all the way to 1, which is soon. Let's just call this 1. There we go. Right. So you can kind of see that what happens here is you start with a hyperboloid of one sheet, and the neck just kind of pinches all the way down to a point and then breaks. And that's kind of the evolution from one to the other.